Many people ask me, hey, why do my Photoshop suck? It's not because you're trash at Photoshop. Well, maybe. But one big reason is that your highlights might not be the best. Highlights are what make an actually good piece of art good. So if your highlights suck, your art probably will too. Now I'm gonna show you how I make my highlights pop out in Photoshop. So let's just jump into it. So the first thing you have to do when trying to put highlights on something is establish where your light source is coming from. In this picture, it looks like the light source is coming from kind of like the top left position. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw in a light. We will make that blue. And then we're going to put the blend mode on linear dodge add. After that, we're just going to draw in the light source very, very softly. Now the first thing that we're going to do in making these highlights is we're going to make an exposure layer. And we're just going to bring the exposure up. After that, you're just going to paint this exposure layer on the sides just like this, wherever the light touches. This doesn't have to be too precise, but try to make it as good as you can. Now that we have a rough sketch of where this light is going to hit, we are going to go and make a hue saturation layer and clip it to the same layer. Click this little colorize button right here. Or now you're just going to match the same color as the light source. You're going to turn the saturation up all the way. And then you're going to turn the brightness up. This will probably do. You're going to right click on the hue saturation layer. You're going to go to blending options. And then you're going to grab this underlying layer thing right here in the blend F section. You're going to hold down Alt and you're going to split this. You're going to drag it to the right, and basically what this does, so it takes out all of the highlights out of all of the darks. Paint in that highlight color just like this. And make sure that your hue saturation layer is under the exposure layer. Now just paint everywhere that the color hits. You're basically just following the exact same mask as the exposure layer. I prefer to use a soft brush on a very low flow, around 10% to make my highlights. Some people like them sharper. It's all really just a preference thing. Now that we have that side pretty much all finished, we're gonna do the exact same thing, but on the other side. So again, we're going to make a solid color layer. We're going to put this one on red. We're going to put the blend mode on linear dodge add. We're just going to add a nice soft light, just like this. And once again, we can use that same exposure layer, and we're just going to paint where that red light would touch. A lot of problems I see a lot of people having is they put too many highlights. So anywhere that this light would not touch in real life, like you would not put a highlight down here because, well, the light just doesn't reach it. So you're only going to put highlights on the place that the light touches. This is very hard at the beginning, but it will come with time and practice. The rest of the red highlights is just going to be a speed edit. Since you guys already know the process, you guys can just sit back and watch my whole process and what I do. Now that these highlights are in place, what I like to do is once again add another solid color layer, and you're gonna make it that same color as whatever your highlight is. So we're gonna add a nice little blue, and we're gonna put that on linear dodge add once again, and you are just going to color a nice soft glow over the top of your highlights, just on the outside like this. It makes it seem like the light is kind of bouncing off of the character. It just makes it pop just that little bit more. Just very, very faint. Especially if there's metal, you can make it shine a little bit brighter. Now we're gonna do that same thing once again on the red side. Now, once you finish this, hopefully your highlights have become a little less trash. No, but I hope this actually helped. Tell me in the comments if it did. And this is what I got. So thank you guys for watching.